angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not, ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come, see the place where the Lord lay. And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come, see the place where the Lord lay. In January of this year, Cynthia and I were on vacation, celebrating 9.5 years of marriage. On June 2nd of this year, I will celebrate 10 years of marriage. She will have made it through. I will celebrate. Wow, she just made it. All our friends are witness for the Lord. Stop laughing, Shirley. The restaurant that we went to on one evening was walking distance from the hotel. And as we were coming back, we, of course, got on the subject of our children. I don't know how we got on this subject when Ian will be 4 next month and Leo will be 6 in July. Because for some reason we got on the subject of their teenage years and Sarah of them getting their driver's license. Don't know how it fast forward that fast, but that's where the subject went. And I told my wife that whenever I purchase Ian's first car, it's going to be a 2-seater. And the reason it's going to be a 2-seater, Veronica Isaac, and that's my auto insurance, Isaac State Farm Insurance Agent on Bull Street. The reason it's going to be a 2-seater, I told her, is because I don't want him riding around all of his buddies. And I also know that the more people in the car, the more you're tempted to do something you would not do. And so I want to limit as many as people in my son's car. Because I know y'all can't have different rules, but I'm going to have different rules. I don't want other boys in his car that might lead him to do somewhere or take him somewhere or be around something that he doesn't need to be around. And of course, the same thing she said that made you say you're stupid because do you know how much insurance is on a 2-seater car? I said, Veronica, give me a discount. I'm not doing And I said, I'm serious about that, Cynthia. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be a 2-seater because I don't want nobody else in the car tempting my son and leading my son to do something he has no business doing. And then my wife, who's my new pastor, said, did you have a 2-seater car as a teenager? And I said, no. She said, did you ever get in trouble when you were a teenager? I said, no. Did you ever get arrested while you were a teenager? I said, no. Did you ever smoke weed while you were a teenager? I said, no. Did anybody in your car have weed with you when you were a teenager? I said, no. She said, really, Chris, have you ever been caught for anything? And I said, no. And she said, you know what? And you know why? She said, Chris, because you've been favored all of your life. And then my pastoral wife said these profound words that have been resonating in my spirit since that day. Reverend Cynthia said, there is no fear in faith. She said, there is no fear in faith. And on this Lord's resurrection day, that's what I want to talk about out of Matthew 20. And the angel answered said unto the women, fear not ye. There is no fear in faith. It is early saying it was early. Sit on down right now, Ashley. I've done my job. I said early! Sunday morning. Now to him who can keep you from falling. It was early. Sunday morning. The dew is still on the road. Daybreak has not yet broken. Tom Joyner has not yet come on. Orange juice has not started yet chilling. Bacon has not. The grits had not started popping, and the Maxwell house had not stopped dropping. It's early. It is early Sunday morning, first day of the week. Two women, the Bible tells us, go back to this tomb upon which their friend had been laid in on that Friday evening. They were there when a large boulder, crater as it was rolled in position to cover up the tomb where he lay, to make sure that nobody took his body or that he would not leave as he told some people that he would do. They stayed there for a little while and then they ran off to their own homes. They reminded themselves, however, that he did not get a proper Jewish burial. That because of the hastiness upon which the soldiers took him off that cross, because earth had a cosmic fit, because of what the cosmos and because of the chaos that happened Friday night, nobody washed his body. Nobody cleaned him of the blood that had stained his skin. Nobody had perfumed and spiced his body. Nobody really took the time to wrap him in linen shroud. They only put a napkin over his face. So these women, under the cover of night, secretly try to go back to that tomb to give him a proper Jewish burial that every child of a Jewish mother was worthy of. They went for the primary purpose of just shrouding his body, anointing his body, saying a few prayers so that he might be at peace. That's why they went. They went because he did not get the right ritual on Friday night. And so they come back Sunday morning trying to do that which was wrong and make it into a right. They had to go back, Sister Dunbar, on Sunday because something wrong happened on Friday. Isn't it very interesting that how Jesus will make you come back? When you say something wrong, when you do something wrong, when you're at the wrong place, when you know it's the right time. He will make you come back. When you don't know why you're going back, he will make you come back. Even for those who might not have been here all year. Jesus just made you come back. And he will make you come back. And the reason why they come back was to make sure that he had a proper burial. But when they get there, the stone that they saw men put in front of the tomb was not in the same place. And as they get a little closer, they hear this voice coming out of nowhere. This voice says unto them, fear not ye. Obviously, this angel, and let me pause for station identification and say, I hope you've got some angels in your life and that this is not foreign to you, that there's an angel here at the tomb speaking to them, that there's a voice coming out of nowhere that begins to talk with them and console them. I pray that you are spiritual enough that you hear the voice of the Lord sent by one of his messengers every now and then. And the first thing that this angel tells them to do is don't be scared. Now, you know I do cemeteries daily. Family, if it ever been to any of the cemeteries that I own at night? I never, ever step foot in Lincoln or Woodlawn at night. I got the deed to them, but I ain't ever been in the cemetery at night because I would be just like these women, sure enough scared. A cemetery is not a place that you go at night. And when they hear this voice, Lord help them, coming from the place where they knew a dead man had been, they have every right to be scared. And the angel says, women, don't be scared, for the one that you saw crucified is not here. The first emotion that comes up for these women is fear. First of all, they think they're by themselves. First of all, they think they went by themselves, just the two of them, because they were scared, number one, that they might be seen by the Roman officials. Because everybody knew they were looking for other disciples. And even though they were female, they were scared that if we were caught near or around him, or for fear of even trying to steal his body, we might be crucified as well. And he says, don't be scared. Release that emotion of fear. And I come by to let somebody know you need to release that emotion of fear today. I don't know what you might be scared of. I don't know what's going on right now in your life. But more importantly, you know and he knows. And if there's anything that's got you scared about anything in life, I'm here to tell you, fear not. Fear not. Fear not. I know we are living in some tough days. Every time you turn on CNN, your tweeting clown has done something stupid again. And here we are now in a missile test with North Korea. Every time they shoot off one, we got to shoot off one. Every time they hit a dub, we got to show them how big ours is. It's like shooting firecrackers with your next door neighbor. But this one has consequences to it. And so some of us literally live in fear. Burglar alarm, video cameras. Oh, y'all got them video cameras in your living room and in your kitchen at ADT and Time Warner. All them done tricked y'all into getting into package so you can feel a little bit safer in your house. And they done told you that only your login code and password can access this camera. If you watching, somebody else watching too, baby. So you might want to put on a little makeup before you go into the kitchen in the morning. We live in a time of fear, not knowing what is going to happen tomorrow. But this angel, on the Lord's day, on the day of his resurrection, says, fear not. No, you got a doctor report on the way? Fear not. No, you got lab results to get back? Fear not. No, your child's going a little crazy, it might not graduate? Fear not. No, the job says it might be moving overseas? Fear not. No, you are back on your mortgage, on your rent? Fear not. Because he who said that he would rise has risen from the dead. An angel says you have nothing to fear. As Kennedy says, but fear itself. He says, fear not. Him that you look was crucified. He is not here, but he has risen. And I believe, church, that these women were indeed favored. These two women, both whose names are Mary, were favored. And maybe that is the reason, again, why this angel tells them that you have nothing to worry about. There's nothing for you to be scared about because you have been favored. I will tell you, and I favor ain't fair. I theologically disagree with that nomenclature, that cliche, that favor ain't fair. To suggest that favor ain't fair is to suggest that God plays favoritism. To say that when you get a new car, favor ain't fair. When you get a new house, favor ain't fair. When you get a new job, favor ain't fair. When you get a new man, it ain't fair for that man. To suggest that favor ain't fair is to suggest that God plays favorites. And he decides whether you get something better than another person. And the problem is we're always equating favor with material blessings. And that's a problem. Equating favor with materials. Because you can have all the money in the world and still be sad. Tim, case in point. You can have all the money in the world. Look at her. And it don't buy you manners either. You can have all the money in the world, but you still can't buy respect. Still can't buy manners. Look at the husband all the way up at the top. Look at Paul Malone. Ain't nobody helped her out the car yet. Money does not make you happy. Only thing money will do is buy you a therapist. I wish I had a witness up in there. I'm not saying being a witness because you got one. But that is not what he's talking about when he says you have been favored. Favor is knowing that the Lord loves you. Favor is knowing that the Lord will provide your every need. Favor is knowing that he will make a way out of no way. Favor is having your right mind. Favor is waking up this morning. Favor is starting yourself on your own way. Favor is brushing your own teeth. Favor is using the restroom by yourself. Favor is having your eyesight. Favor is walking down the street. Favor is going into the house of the Lord. Favor is knowing that if I don't have a dime in my pocket, somebody's going to help me. That's favor. Help me somebody. That's favor. Anybody got favor? Anybody got favor? Well, stop saying favor ain't fair. If you rose this morning, if you got up on your own, if you either rolled out or jumped out, you got the favor of the Lord. Yes. You're favored by him. It says don't fear. And again, he gives these two Marys favor. They have favor, Roz, because they got the revelation. That's how they got favored. Because they got the revelation. They didn't get a brand new car. They didn't get a house on Calvary. They got favored because they got the revelation. And I believe anytime you get a revelation from God, anytime God lets you understand it before the by and by, you got the favor of God. When you know your condition in it before somebody tells you your condition, you got the favor of God. When you know how to make a way and you're not crying because you know God's going to work it out in the midnight hour, you got the favor of God. When God makes sense out of the senseless, you got the favor of God. And I believe that these two Marys were favored because God gave them a revelation. But watch God. Whoa! The first favor was given to another Mary. An unknown Mary. A nobody Mary. We know this Mary because she brought Jesus. If she had never said okay to God, she never would have been blessed like she is right now. People pray to her. We don't. But other people think she's so special that they even pray to her. They say, Hail Mary. And because Luke says that she was favored by God by being obedient to God, she got the blessing of carrying God's seed. A Mary gave birth to Jesus in Bethlehem. One Mary gave birth to him, and Luke says to her the same thing. Read Luke when you get home. Don't fear, Mary, for thou hast been favored above all women. I'm going to give you the revelation. I'm going to birth the word. Now, help me somebody. When he's reborn, he's born one time in Bethlehem, but there's a rebirth up on a hill. There's a rebirth up in a tomb. He was born one time, died one time, and then he got alive again. That's called rebirth. And he sent one Mary to birth him the first time. He sent two Marys to birth him the second time. Why did he send two Marys? He had two Marys because one had to tell the story and the other had to be a witness. I said he had two Marys on the second go-round because one had to tell the story and one had to be a witness. Now, if one Mary had just told the fact that he's alive again, that I've seen him and I've talked to him, nobody would have believed him. I won't try to, Booty. Nobody would have believed her if she had said he's alive. They would say, well, where is he? Because y'all been saying Tupac been alive for years. And I ain't seen Tupac yet. Nobody would have believed the story if one person had said he's alive. So he sends two Marys to be a witness for the Lord and to be a witness and co-sign for what Mary Magdalene had already said. Mary Magdalene says he's living. The second Mary, who's the mother of James, said, yes! She's right. I was there. I saw the tomb myself. I saw the opening in the tomb myself. Mary ain't crazy. Mary is telling you the truth. I want to remind you that the Lord never leaves himself without a witness. The Lord never leaves himself without a witness. And isn't it amazing, Roz and Erica, sometimes when all of us talk together, when we already know what God has already told you, we already believe what God has already told you because the same email he sent you, he'll forward to a friend. And you don't really need that to confirm what God has said, but that's just how he operates. He never is going to send one Mary without another Mary to make sure that he never leaves himself without a witness. And so on that first Easter moment, he sent two Marys to make sure that one Mary had a witness. To make sure that that other Mary could co-sign and confirm what Mary Magdalene had said. Because you've got to understand, many might have believed Mary Magdalene. If you know anything about Mary Magdalene, you'll know that she was controlled at one time in her life by 7 demons. Everybody in town thought Mary was crazy. And so if this crazy woman came talking about that Jesus is alive, nobody would have believed Mary because of her past. I said nobody would have believed Mary because of her past. But maybe the other Mary had a better reputation in town. Maybe the other Mary was more respected than Mary Magdalene. So Jesus wanted to make sure that he had somebody else who the town people would believe by sending this other Mary. I wish I had a witness up in here that understands that God will always make sure that what he needs out of your life will come to pass. If you don't believe me, you can ask a man by the name of Paul. Paul, you know, was a butcher. Paul, you know, blotted out the church. Paul, as you know, was a murderer. But he went one day to a man by the name of Barnabas' house. And Barnabas was respected in the community. And he said, this man has been called to preach. This man is now our brother. Hear what the Lord is trying to say through Paul. It was Barnabas who was able to give authentication to the call upon Paul's life. And for that reason, they began to believe in Paul. And because they began to believe in Paul, the 13 letters and epistles that we read all the time that tell us how to be a good Christian. And the reason why we have that is because there was a witness who could authenticate and believe in Paul. And I'm here to tell somebody, if there's a word on your life, if there's a word in your heart, if God's got something for you to do, there will be somebody else who will be a witness for you, that will help you along the way, because what God has for you will come to pass. Can I get a witness? But let me bring this on home. I know you got something else to do. You got to understand that what happens is that Mother Mary again was able to vouch. I said she was able to vouch. She was able to say yes to what Mary Magdalene was saying. She was able to say amen to what Mary Magdalene said. She was able to say, yes, I've seen everything that she's seen. Yes, I know that she's telling the truth. And yes, I know that he is risen. If you know that he is risen, can I hear you say yes? If you know that he is risen, can I hear you say yes? Well, if you were raised around the 70s, if you were raised around that time, those 70s people, when y'all used to agree to something, you were prompt to say show enough or right on. You ain't got to tell your age. If you were back there in the 70s, you would say show enough. You would say right on. Us 80s babies, us Cosby kids would probably say true that. If you believed in something or heard something that was right, you would say true that. If you grew up in the 90s, Snoop Dogg taught us to say for shizzle. Can I get a witness? He would say for shizzle. And if you were real cool, you would say for shizzle, my nizzle. You can figure that out when you get home. If there was something true, you would say for shizzle, my nizzle. Everybody can't say that up in here, Charles, but for shizzle, you still my nizzle, Charles. I love you. But now, in the 2000s, my basketball team has said that the new thing you say is facts. When somebody says something right, you say facts. If it's lit, you say facts. If it's going on, you say facts. If somebody says something that's correct, you say facts. So one day, Jared, I asked P.J. Dozier, one of my ball players, P.J., what rapper started saying facts? What rapper started saying facts? What meme? What post? What tweet, Tim? Why? Where did this come from? Why every time I say something y'all agree with, y'all say facts? I said, PJ, every time I say something you agree with, you just say facts. Even if we're texting, you return facts. Where did facts come from? PJ say chap, that's what they call me, chap. I don't know where facts came from. I just know when I know a fact is a fact. He says, I can't tell you what man said it. I just know that a fact is a fact. And I wonder, do I have a witness up in here this Sunday morning that you know a fact is a fact? You know that he rose again. That is a fact. Anybody know that he rose again? Anybody know it's a fact? Can I hear you say fact? If you know you started on your way, say fact. If you know he woke you up this morning, say fact. If you know you had food on the table, say fact. If you know that he's an all right God, can I hear you say? If you know that you made it because of the grace of God, if you know he's going to do it again, can I help somebody? Can I help somebody today? Can I help somebody today that he's all right? He's all right. He's all right. He's all right. Anybody know he lives? Say fact. Say fact. And he's coming back again. And he's coming back again. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh, you remember Tootie. You remember Tootie. There used to be a show called The Facts of Life. I know now PJ who started Facts. It was an angel. DJ Angel. This angel, the first person, Lewis, to tweet out the fact that he who was crucified has risen from the dead and is alive today. The first person that gave us this fact was that angel. And two women, both by the name of Mary, believed in that fact. And they did not keep that fact to themselves. They went and told others that he is risen. And because of their obedience to God, and because they were not engaging in alternative facts like our government, the fact that he lives is the fact that gives us life. I'll say that one more again. The fact that he lives, y'all, is the fact that gives us life. If you know that he's alive, say it one more time. If you know that he is risen, say it one more time. If you know that he's here today, say it one more time. If you know that you can make it because of the fact that he lives, say it one more time. If you know you can face tomorrow, say it one more time. If you know that he's coming back